Hello everybody. Today we are going to review a movie that I haven't seen in quite some time. I don't think I've done this on my channel yet before. Maybe I have, I don't know. If I have, I'm doing it again, I guess. Because I've done so many reviews for so many movies that sometimes I might do a double review. And actually, I feel like kind of doing, sometimes for certain movies, doing a second review does it justice. So if I have done this before, I guess you could say maybe now that I've kind of grown as a reviewer a little bit, I feel I may be doing this film a little bit better justice. So anyhow, as I said, 21 Jump Street. I'm just going to pull up the cast list here so I can name off all the cast. Obviously, we know that Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum are in this. They did go to high school together, I guess, but when they were in high school together, they definitely weren't getting along. You could say Channing Tatum's character was definitely the popular kid, and Jonah Hill's character was the nerdy kind of type kid. It wasn't really, I guess you could say it wasn't really getting the ladies, I guess, is kind of like the point of it all. What was I typing in here? Oh my god. Just give me 1 second here. 21 Jump Street. Wow, I just typed in 21. That was the first result that came up. So, this movie is starring... Oh, well, that was Brie Larson. She looks a lot older in this film. I think maybe they did that for... I'm not sure what reason. Now, I don't really understand... This would be kind of a weird... Depending on what grade she was in. I guess if she was graduating, I guess because prom... I guess you're supposed to kind of assume that senior prom. So I guess Jonah Hill would be in his, what, 20s in this movie, and so would Channing Tatum. I guess that's kind of the point of it. Now, I'm not really sure what kind of age difference, 1983, and Brie Larson was born in 1989. Oh, I guess so there's not that much difference between the two of them. For some reason, I didn't realize that that was Brie Larson. Which is kind of odd because, yeah. I was kind of thinking it was her, but for some reason I couldn't recognize her in this movie. She looks a lot different in this movie. Obviously, she's a little bit older now than she was when she started in this movie, because this was from 2012, I do believe. Okay, so, anyway, so this was starring Jonah Hill as Schmidt, Channing Tatum as Janko, Ice Cube as Captain Dixon, Brie Larson as Mullet Tracy, Dave Franco. I think this was the first film I ever actually saw him in. Eric Molson, Rob Wrigley as Mr. Walters, D. Ray Davis as Domingo, Chris Parnell as Mr. Gordon, Jake Johnson as Principal Dadir. Oh my god, what a name. Dax Flame as Zach, Ellie Kemper as Miss Griggs, sorry. Nick Offerman as Deputy Chief Hardy. Jeez. Johnny Pemberton as Delroy. Stanley Wong as Roman. Justin Hires as... Actually, I don't think he was like a main character. And it had some guest appearances from Dakota Johnson as Fugazi. I don't think they actually ever say her name in the movie. That's actually hilarious. And it had some guest appearances by Johnny Depp. And there was somebody else who guest starred in this movie alongside him. And I believe they were actually in the original 21 Jump Street. Jeez, it doesn't even have him on here as like... as the cast list of this movie. So, yes, they went to high school together. They were obviously not friends, and then they joined the police academy together, and they become best buds because they kind of work off one another. Obviously, Janko is good at all the physical stuff, and Schmidt is good at all of the like nerdy stuff, the school stuff. So what were their names? So they're assigned to go undercover at a high school. God, what were their... I can't think of their... I should know, too. Doug and... I think it was Doug and Brad, if I remember incorrectly. I just can't remember their last names. Anyway, they end up getting mixed up in the classes they're supposed to be in, and Schmidt ends up falling in love with Molly, which, I mean, the age difference would be a little weird, because I believe it showed their senior year in high school. So if they were 18, and then I think it was either 5 or 7 years that passes in between that time of them joining the academy, so 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, well, oh my god, that's quite an age difference, 25 and 18. It just seems, yeah, I mean, looking back at that part of the story, it is kind of odd, because if they were already in their 20s and she was still 18, that whole, I guess, love aspect of it is kind of weird, because I don't know, I mean, I guess it does happen, but I don't know if this was, yeah, I don't know if it would happen necessarily that way in the movie. Obviously, he, like, Schmidt kind of became, like, the hero type for her at the end of the movie when he does save her from the supplier of the drugs. And I guess they were, like, a biker gang, and obviously Dave Franco's character, Eric, is the dealer at the high school, and Schmidt befriends him, or I guess Doug, in this case, befriends him, and ends up getting kind of involved too deeply in the whole drug scenario, and ends up dealing for him, but not really dealing for him, just kind of bringing him the money to make him think that he's, you know, in on the whole dealing aspect of it, which he really isn't, because he's just taking the drugs back to 21 Jump Street, where they were, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess where they were sent to do this undercover mission. So I guess 21 Jump Street kind of uncovers all these old cases, but in this case, I wouldn't really say this is a really old case. It's kind of fresh, but I guess because maybe they were all out of old cases, I don't really know, but they sent them to this high school, and yeah, Schmidt or Doug ends up falling in love with this Molly girl, and he kind of screws it up in the beginning, obviously because the two of them end up fighting at one point when he's supposed to be in this play with her as Peter Pan, and yeah, Janko ends up screwing it up for him. He does end up obviously winning her back because of saving her at the end of the movie, and that was when the guest appearances happened with Johnny Depp and this other guy, but I can't remember what the other guy, what their names were actually supposed to be. I think they only actually say it once. But he had infiltrated this bike gang for like a 5-year period, so that was, oh my god, I have the hiccups. So that was pretty crazy. And then you end up finding out the gym teacher, who was Mr. Walters, the gym teacher, was actually the supplier of the drugs, and then he's working with the bike gang, and it's just a whole mess, and Molly ends up taking the drugs at the end of the movie, obviously because she's mad with Doug, who she then finds out is Schmidt, a cop, and she ends up kissing him at the end of the movie because he saved her life. And then he kind of says to Janko as a joke that their life was like Die Hard, but not Die Hard 1 or 2, Die Hard 3, like the Samuel L. Jackson one. I really kind of forgot how funny this movie actually was and how much it made me laugh. I don't even know if I've really seen this one since it came out. I can't remember. I think maybe the last time I saw it was in 2016, if I remember it correctly. And it came out in 2012. So, I think it was somewhere around that time that I saw it last. I think I've seen 22 Jump Street more than I've seen 21 Jump Street. And I'm not sure whether I like 22 Jump Street better. They really need to make a third one. I'm really hoping they are actually working on a third one, because, oh my god, it needs to come out. After 22 Jump Street came out, in the end credits, they were just memeing every movie that could possibly come out. it needs to happen. And Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill have amazing chemistry on screen together. So I think it would be awesome if they work together again. And heck, even bring back. Can I talk today? Oh my god, bring back Brie Larson to the films. Why not? I think she's a really good actress. She did pretty good. She's done fairly well as Captain Marvel, and I'm gonna have to watch Kong Skull Island again because I forget her role in that. But I think I liked her in that too. Her and Samuel L. Jackson work really well together as well. I mean, Samuel L. Jackson seems to just have chemistry with anybody. It doesn't matter who he's working with. He can just kind of work around. He just kind of feeds off energy of people, I find, no matter who he's working with. So, yeah, he's a phenomenal actor as well. I know I'm kind of getting off topic now, but I'm just kind of going more with the flow of how I feel about certain movies and just kind of talking now. I feel like I was talking too much, maybe in depth about the films before. I'm kind of trying to change that a little bit and just make these reviews a little bit more like natural, I guess. Yeah, I felt like I was being too professional before, so now I'm just kind of doing my own thing, going with the flow, and kind of trying to be more of myself a little bit, I think. I think that'll be, yeah, I feel like I'm being more genuine with my later reviews anyway. Maybe I'm not, I don't know, but I feel like I am. I'm trying to be, anyhow. So, if you haven't seen this movie, oh my god, you have to go see it. Because Jonah Hill is absolutely hilarious, and him and Channing Tatum have absolutely great chemistry together on screen. And I believe Jonah Hill and Brie Larson had really good chemistry together. I don't really think I would care to see Dave Franco come back in these movies. Yeah, I can't really say that I would. I can't remember if he's even in the second one, to be completely honest. I think he might have a small appearance in the beginning of the movie, because I think he might actually be in jail with the teacher, if I'm remembering correctly. God, it's been so long since I've seen these movies, because I think the second one came out in 2015, and I think I've seen it a couple times since then. But yeah, I don't really remember it as well as the first one, except for like the opening scene. Other than that, I kind of forget what happens in this one, to be completely honest. But I am going to watch it next, and I did give, now IMDb gave it a 7.2, so I guess my rating isn't too far off. I did give it an 8 out of 10. Obviously, I would come back and see this movie over and over and over again. I feel like it's just one of those ones you can revisit. I wouldn't say, like, it's one of the ones that I would put in, like, my top 5 or 10 or anything, but it definitely is one of those movies where you can go back and watch it, like, every few years, and some of the jokes you don't even pick up on. Even after watching it a few times, there's something new that you're always going to find in this movie, I feel like, that is going to be funny. It was just kind of funny. The roles were reversed, obviously, in this movie. When they were in high school originally, Janko was the popular one, Schmidt was the nerdy one, and then when they flipped, it ended up being that Janko got into the nerdy stuff, and Schmidt ended up becoming the popular one. So it was, yeah, it was just kind of like the roles were absolutely reversed. And I believe in the 22 Jump Street, it switches back again. So it's kind of odd. It's like just a flip-flop of who's the popular one and who's not. It's kind of funny, that aspect of the film for sure. I think that's about all I can say. Yeah, 8 out of 10 is what I gave this film. I don't think I can rate it any higher. There wasn't anything that I disliked about this film. I feel like I'm kind of giving a more natural. I feel like some films I kind of tried to rate too high in the past, and maybe I should go back and kind of rewatch them again and give a proper rating. Now, I mean, for some, obviously the nostalgia feel is there, so I have to give it a 10 out of 10 just because of that. But for this film, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Lots of laughs. Obviously, tons of action, surprisingly, for a comedy movie. So I guess it was kind of like an action comedy. And I think that's all I can say about this movie. And I will see you guys in the next review, which will be 22 Jump Street. Okay, see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye for now.